stories have to come from somewhere.
Dear Grace, I was on a call when I heard the doorbell ring, and it was Raju, our watchman, who stood out at the door. "Is she here?" he asked, his gaze fixed on the glass of tea he held with care. "Yes, she is here," I replied, calling his wife, who was assisting my mother. "What is it?" she asked, her impatience spilling over as she made her way to the door. "I brought you tea," he offered. "You could have waited," she said, her voice touching the last word with mild reproach. "It's already cold. Have it now," he urged. If you imagined a young couple in love, I'm afraid you're mistaken. I have known them since childhood, and their care for each other remains unchanged, unwavering through the years. What's the point of this tiny tale, though? Honestly, I'm not sure what you might make of it. Perhaps you're too young or too old to find meaning in it. Maybe it strikes you as sweet, a hope for your future, or maybe it remains a charming tale with no chance of turning into a reality. I merely share what I observe and witness. It's your turn to tell me what it stirs within you. On that day and the previous, I was wrestling with words and was struggling to write. I could move through the pages of books penned by others, but my own words got no space of their own. How hard do I sometimes make it for myself to perform this simple, cherished act? I call it simple because it's the act that sometimes eludes me. All I needed was to begin to write anything, and it would lead me back to the path I sought. As I continued to struggle, the evening, as it sometimes does, had turned the tide. Navigating the busy streets on a Sunday evening, I arrived at a familiar yet seldom visited place. I intended to read if my writing block persisted, and perhaps resort to watching the second half of Before Sunrise if reading also failed me. But as luck would have it, the family of four seated on my right came to my rescue. I was about to turn on some music when I noticed the mother spill more than half of the coffee they had ordered. Before her embarrassed look fully faded, and as the father's eyes lingered on her, I quickly chiseled the moment in my journal with the following words: a family of four, 2 kids, a spilled coffee, change of table, and a free replacement. Funnily enough, that's all it took to ignite the spark, leading to the first draft of letter 107 that eventually got the title The House I Stole, loosely inspired by one of my dream houses. Looking around at the diverse crowd, I wondered about their dream houses. I approached a group of young students, and one of them, Krishna, cheerfully shared his vision of his dream house. I also messaged a friend and asked if she could lend her voice to a quick description of her dream house, and she did. This idea of gathering others' thoughts and weaving them into my letters doesn't need to end here. Can you guess what I'm thinking? So, what helped me write this letter? Was it the journey through the busy streets, or this gleaming table? The ginger tea maybe, or perhaps it was the child's scream that shook me off the writing slumber. While writing had its struggles, reading through was proceeding like the hoofs of a galloping horse. Not bad. The world is changing, Grace, and I want to see it. I want to know how it feels to be altered by life. Altered by life? Such a captivating phrase, right? I think I'll borrow it for my next letter's title. And before we end this letter, Raju's wife is usually everywhere and anywhere in one of the 17 houses that are knit together in the apartment we live in. And Raju would have gone to several houses before he ended up at ours, and imagine doing this a few times a week at least. That's sweet. Very sweet. Best wishes, Brooding Brook, to Grace 1920, Riverton, England.